We have another, and what I really wanted to hear is your weirdest jinn story. And jinn, for other people watching, jinn is basically demonic, devilish. What is the weirdest jinn story that you have for it? And I'm sure in your time you must have plenty. I have some, but probably nothing like yours.
Do it or don't do it.
Oh, I want to hear it.
Come here. This is my son, Musa.
What's good with y'all boys?
I'm gonna ask him, should I do it or not?
Just do it for the content.
So enthusiastic.
Nah, it's cause almost 1 a.m. But
Chat, let's get some ones if you want to hear the weirdest jinn story. But
if we see a lot of ones, I'll do it.
Okay.
How's that? So again, I don't usually talk about these because
it attracts them.
One of the things that attracts jinn is when you talk about them, right? And I don't talk about like stories on YouTube or somebody else told me. Like, I'm only going to talk about what I witnessed with my own eyes. And obviously I don't want to expose the family or the people that went through this, so I'm not going to give any indication that would expose who they are. But in San Diego, I'm not talking about like some in Sudan or Oman or Pakistan. In San Diego right here, we had a family, and Musa knows who they are. They owned a store. He's been to that store. He knows the family, so it's not like they were just some obscure people, somebody who used to pray with us and so on. And he called us up and he said, you know, I have a situation with my wife and I need you to recite some Quran on her, right? And I don't usually get involved in these things. Like, you know, first thing you see in my schedule, I'm busy in a day and night. We got things going on at work, kids, homeschooling, family, work, actual work, and then dawah for the sake of Allah and teaching and researching and reading. So I'm like, look, bro, you know, you want to read some Quran, just you go read some Quran on her. I'm good. You know, I don't do this kind of thing. He's a really good brother. We knew he was. And he was like, look, I wouldn't ask you unless this was the, you know. So I was like, what's going on? He was like, there's some situation. So I'll tell you what, if there's something, go see a mental health professional. You know, probably some kind of chemical imbalance, this and this. He was like, look, I've been to the hospital, I've been to doctors, I've been to psychiatrists, I've been through everything. I've had to hospitalize her many a times. They've done tests and there's nothing wrong with her. And this is stuff that it's not normal, right? I was like, all right, tell me, like, you know, just come over and then I'll tell you. I was like, all right. So one of our imams in the masjid, Sheikh Abdul Qadir, you met with him, right? So I called him up. He's a hafiz. He's memorized the whole Quran. I said, hey, look, you know, this brother, he's a good brother. He's got the situation. You don't mind, let's go read some Quran. It's probably nothing, but let's go do it, you know, for the sake of Allah. No money, nothing. And the brother was like, sure, you know, let's go do it. I said, all right. Went to his house. When he got to his house, he was outside and said, look, let me talk to you. I said, all right, tell me what's going on. I said, look, I married my wife. I'm not going to mention the name of the country, but from another country. And she was raised in a very traditional village and, you know, doesn't speak English well, only been here a couple of years.
Moroccan?
Not going to mention the name of the country. Not going to let you guess at it. Not Moroccan. But not going to let you guess anymore, right? So, you know, I don't want to give any indication that would give away who they are, right? So, you know, I mean, Musa knows because, you know, obviously he was involved in the family and things, but we've kept this very private, you know. Yeah. So I went to their house and he told me, look, my wife just came to the US and then we have a store, and she started changing, and her hair started becoming shorter. She didn't cut it. It just started becoming shorter.
Like, she was losing hair?
No,
it was
shrinking. And it was rough. And he said, you know, when I approach her in a marital way, her face looks different to me, and she acts like a man. And I was like, what?
It's some real stuff.
This is it's a little weird.
These people?
Yeah, it's real stuff.
Yeah. So
is it tranny now?
Check it out. I'm like, wait, you know, like, is there something going on? And he's like, no. He goes, and she's become rough with me. Like, sometimes even, you know, during, she'll grab my neck. And then at times she'll push my kids around, walking around.
What?
Right? And these are people, I'm telling you, this is San Diego. It's not like some, you know. Yeah. So I'm like, I was thinking like this guy's just kind of, whatever, he's out of it. I'm like, oh, whatever, right? And he's like, look, my wife's only been here a few years, and she doesn't even speak English. But she was sending texts to a woman that worked there, explicit text.
And it spoke like they weren't from here, but it spoke proper English, like slang.
No, there were things in there, and the people in the hood would blush.
Like slang.
Right? And somebody from
You read the text?
I did read the text.
Bomba Kala.
And there was like, I want to, with my, and your
Yeah.
words that aren't even like in a dictionary. Those are urban dictionary words.
Right.
That somebody who doesn't even speak English would no way understand or know. And they were written from a man's perspective. They were talking about,
Yeah.
I was like, this is, and they were, and what happened is that employee came to him and said, hey, look, this is going on. And he was like, what? And he said, when I confronted my wife, she just got violent until she had to be hospitalized. She was throwing the kids around. So I'm like, all right, there's some marital issues going on. Maybe she's gone rainbow or something. I don't know, right? So I'm not trying to, sorry, I was like, what do you want me to do? He's like, can you read some Quran on her? I was like, all right, So
Maybe she was taking steroids or something?
all those thoughts were coming to my head. So he said, all right, let's go, And, so we went in, and they had her covered up and things, and she had 2 big sons that were sitting next to her, like, holding her. And I was like, this little lady, like, why are they holding her? The husband went behind her. And then I told the sheikh, look, I'm going to read Quran as well, but I don't want you to stop. No matter what happens, don't stop reading Quran, because I studied these things. So he started reading Quran, and she started shaking, and it's like, what's going on, right? And, they had her covered, but it was shaking. I was like, all right, it's not normal, but okay. So I said, look, my sister, right when I walked in, I forgot that, right when I walked, she goes, oh, you that N-word, Uthman.
It sounds like a joke, but it's not.
Like, she used the N-word, right? I'm not trying to...
Where's she from? Oh, no, you don't want to say. But she was speaking
let's just say a Middle Eastern country.
And she's speaking SNEAK0 dialect.
Well, she was like, you that Sheikh Uthman, huh? Like, what? She's talking to me like a woman who only been here for a few years, right? So I was like, this is kind of strange, right? So anyway, I started speaking, and then she goes, F you, and she was using the words, right? I was like, what the hell? Like, this is, and the sound was that of a man. And like, I never, I don't try to talk to women, so I mean, I don't know who she was, but...
You heard the voice too?
No,
I wasn't there for it, but I talked to the guy.
It was the people there was just me and the Sheikh Abdul Qadir. You met Sheikh Abdul Qadir.
And the night he got back too, so...
Yeah. So, this started getting really weird. Like at first I was like, maybe it's got something else going on, but I'm like, how can... I mean, my wife had speaking to her, so I mean, it's not like, we know who the family is. So I was like, all right. And I was like, look, sister, what's going on and this and that. And she's like, F you, don't call me a sister.
It's not even a joke.
Like, what the heck? That is some crazy stuff, right?
So did the reading the Quran...
we'll get in there, right? So the sheikh, he was, the qari, he was kind of, like, look, whatever happened, don't stop reading Quran, right? Whatever happened, no matter, right? And, I have a whole section in the library about the jinn and stuff I've shown you, so we know things. I was like, look, might get violent, whatever. I'm not touching them, broad, Like, I told the kids, like, you guys better handle this. And they're like, yeah. So we just started reading Quran, and she leaped out at me, like, grabbed me, right? Thing fell off. And I was
like The Exorcist.
I was like, whoa,
yeah,
right?
Bro, like,
Sons grabbed. Now, these are big old, men, mashallah. And then she was like, boom, pushed one out. Husband's trying to get her in a headlock. And I was like, whoa, like, it got real. Things fell off, and hair was short. Like, he wasn't lying, right? And subhanAllah. And this is what I'm saying. Like, people, like, I don't believe in unseen, and I don't believe in supernatural. I mean, I've seen stuff that science can't explain, So I was like, I started reading Quran as well. He was reading Quran. I started talking. I was like, look, whatever it is, you got to leave this lady alone. And I was like, look, sister, do you have an issue going on? I mean, something you want to talk about? Some changes. He's like, I ain't your sister. N-word, right? I'm like, whoa, right? And then, so we're like, okay, just keep reading. Well, I was there for a few hours, right? Keep reading Quran. After a while, she's like, yeah, that's my jam.
I laugh when I hear it too.
Like, I'm not trying to use N-word here, but, that's my jam. And I was like, what? Like, this is, and the kids are all freaked out, and she's like, ah, then it goes crazy again. I'm like, whoa, like, I'm all fist balled up and stuff. And subhanAllah, like, I'm telling you, there's things people don't realize, So, in the end, the sheikh kept reading Quran, I kept speaking, I speaking the Quran, making dhikr on, and then told her, look, whoever it is, then she started speaking to me as a man. She's like, look, I'm a guy, I liked her, I answered her, and now I like the other one, and this is in my thing, and like straight like a dude, I was like, look, you got to leave the sister alone. Like, you can't be doing this. There's a family, there's kids.
So basically, all trannies are under a jinn spell.
There are scholars that have written about this. That many people might have this issue of jinn because the gender of the jinn might be affecting
maybe just
them.
influence, not like complete possession like this case.
So, 2.5 hours about into it with reading Quran, and like I said, I mean, I'll take you to the store if you want. The store, right? And after that, just started getting violent, throwing stuff, crazy, all this. Then she just collapsed, just fell.
Dead?
I was like, I'm out of here. I told the gym, look, we gotta bounce, man. I gotta go home. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah, we were at home that day.
So I came home, and this is my family. I don't keep secrets from family. I told him, and the guy put the hijab on her and everything. And subhanallah, I didn't hear from him, and I don't want to call him because I'm not trying to get involved in this, right? I'm done. A week or something later, he called me. He's like, I'm going back to my country. I don't care about the store, this or that. I was like, how's your wife? He's like, yeah, she's better. She's not acting like that. She's talking normal and this. And then, subhanallah, he left. And then, I don't want to keep in touch. Like, this was, can you imagine being there? Like, this was some stuff, right? Months later, he came back to the U.S. He wanted to do some stuff, business and stuff. And he came and saw me in the mosque. And he said, subhanallah, after that day, her hair grew back. Her face went back. She didn't even remember any of that. And alhamdulillah, so I was like, would you bring her back? He's like, I'll never bring her back to this country. So,
So she went under a Western jinn spell.
Jinns are from different areas,
wow.
right?
Yeah, they're like humans. It's crazy.
That's my jam. The Quran, my jam.
And subhanallah, I don't talk about these things to a lot of people because these are things that people don't understand until you've seen it. When you see something like that, it blows your mind. Mm-hmm. You realize there's more to the world than what you can see. Some people they're very close-minded, but they don't realize that many things science hasn't even discovered yet. Right? Many things that you may not understand doesn't mean they don't exist. Talk about black matter and all this stuff, but this is one. But there's another one. When I was overseas, it wasn't me doing the exorcism. Somebody else was doing it. We'll talk about that on another stream, inshallah.